welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing kind of an unboxing, kind of just my opinion on my brand new phone. So I did recently pick up the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I have the blue version. It looks like this. It is really cute. It looks like this in my case. I have my pop socket in the middle, kind of blocking the Apple symbol, so you can't really see that. I have had a Samsung for the last like 8 years. So I'm going from a complete Android user over to an iPhone user, and it is very different. So I'm not really the type of person that is iPhone or Android. I don't really care. I've had both in the past. When I was a kid, I had an iPhone, and then as I went into like my teenage years, I just went over to Android because that's what all of my friends were using and everybody said it was better. And honestly, now that I have both here, I have an S9 Plus and a brand new 13, my everyday life hasn't really changed much. So I would say if you don't utilize Android for what it is, for being so techie and stuff, you probably won't notice much of a difference if you switch from an Android to an iPhone. So I'm not a tech channel. I don't know anything about technology. I don't know anything about that. So if that's the type of video you're looking for and a review for the iPhone 13, this is not the right video for you. I'm just giving you my opinion on my everyday kind of usage, on what I do and don't like so far about having this phone. I've had this phone for a week now, so I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I had this phone, so this is the S9 Plus, for 3 years. I got it in 2018 and it did me pretty well. It lasted a really long time. It worked really well. It started kind of crapping out near the end. That's why I got a new phone. The battery life on my Android went very quickly. I did not have a good experience with my battery on this phone at all. My boyfriend always says it's because I constantly had my phone plugged in, but that's because it was constantly dying. So it's kind of not really my fault, but kind of my fault. At the same time, I kind of wore out the battery very, very quickly, but I just didn't find that my battery life lasted very long. So this phone, for example, is brand new and my battery life is amazing. I charged this phone last night and it is still at 62% and it is 342. So I have barely used any percentage of my battery and it is still going strong, and I've been using it all day. So my battery life on my iPhone is really, really good so far. So I'm hoping that the battery life stays really good, because that was one of my main issues with my Android. Both of my Androids, I had an S7 and an S9 Plus. Both of the batteries were horrible. So that's one thing that I'm going to point out with my experience with Androids and my experience with iPhone. So I did switch originally from iPhone to Android because I didn't like how fragile iPhones were, but then at the same time, I cracked the shit out of this phone. This phone is destroyed. I had it for 3 years and I broke the ever-loving fucking shit out of it. So I would say they're both pretty fragile. Maybe don't drop your phone. Maybe get a screen protector. You know, just don't drop your phone. So this is what the Samsung looked like. It was the S9 Plus, like I said. I was interested in getting the Ultra, which is the S29 Ultra, whatever, like the brand new Samsung, the one that you can literally like zoom in and look at the moon. I was interested in getting that one, but it's on back order and it's very expensive. So I'm not really feeling paying $2,100 for a phone. I believe my iPhone was $1,500. I am on a plan, so I'm gonna be paying it for the next 2 years. So whatever, it's expensive regardless of what phone you get. But the S21 was very expensive. So I remember back in the day, everybody used to say, oh, you're an iPhone user, oh, you're an Android user, so you can't afford to have an iPhone. And now it's like the opposite, like Androids are very expensive. So I switched to Apple because it was cheaper and my plan is pretty good. And honestly, I was just interested in using my phone for TikTok, Instagram, just social media in general. So on my S9 Plus, the camera is so fucking bad on it inside apps. So when I tried to record TikToks inside my TikTok app using my Samsung, the quality and the picture was horrible. It was terrible. It was grainy. It looked like I was recording on like a flip phone. It was absolutely awful. And everything that I've read online has told me that these apps are catered towards Apple. So I don't really know if that's true. I don't have any proof that that's actually true. I'm just going off of what I've read on Google. Everyone was saying that TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those apps are catered towards iOS, which is Apple's, and they can't make every single Android device compatible with it. So that's why some Androids just like don't work very well in those apps. I don't know if that's true, but in my experience, all of my Samsungs have been horrible inside those apps, whereas I can record in TikTok now with my iPhone and it's really good. The only piss off that I have between all of this is because I literally bought an Apple because I wanted to try out a new device and because I wanted it for TikTok uses, and I still can't upload on TikTok in HD. I still don't have that fucking option. I don't know if it's a Canadian thing, I don't know if it's just not available to all users yet, but I can't upload in HD and I'm annoyed. TikTok, fix that. That's like the main reason I got a fucking iPhone. So my everyday life hasn't really changed a whole lot. The only differences I'm really noticing is my S9 Plus had a headphone jack, so I could listen to music in my car, and now it does not. It does not come with a headphone jack. You have to use everything Bluetooth or just listen to it like on the phone. So I literally had to go on Amazon and I had to buy a converter so I could put it into my charger port, and then I could put my aux cable that's in my car into my charger port and it works. But because I don't have a newer vehicle, I don't have Bluetooth in my car. So that's something that I was really fucking annoyed about. Not every single person in the entire world uses Bluetooth and has Bluetooth compatibilities in their vehicles. And now if you buy a new phone, you're fucked. So I was kind of annoyed about that. That was one of the main reasons why I wasn't really keen on upgrading. I was holding out as long as I possibly could because I knew I would have to get a converter, and then the sound quality of the converter isn't as good as just the aux cable. So I am noticing a little bit of issues in that department, and I'm kind of annoyed about that. I literally wish they just put a fucking aux cable in here, like, come on. The other thing I want to bring notice to, I think it's been around since maybe the iPhone 11, I'm not sure. They changed the cable. So because I had an Android, I had to buy a new cable regardless. It does come with a cable, so it comes with one of these, which is the cable, I believe it's the USB-C. So it's a very, very small USB. Instead of it being a big block anymore, it's not the same like USB port. So they give you this charger, but they don't give you the block. So if you've never been an Apple user before, you're gonna have to go out and buy the block because you can't just use the block that comes with your Android or your old phone because it's not the same compatibility anymore. That's another thing that's really fucking stupid. They say that, oh, we're not giving blocks out anymore to save the environment, and then they go ahead and change the cable, so now you need to buy another block. So I'm not saving the environment here. I'm literally just giving Apple more money because they're refusing to put the block in the packaging when I buy my phone. Like, that's dumb. That's so stupid. If you guys really wanted to save the environment, you wouldn't keep changing your blocks, so I would have to buy a new block. I didn't end up buying a new block. I've just not used this cable. I have just been using an older iPhone compatibility one that fits into my Samsung block still. So I find that's a little bit annoying. It's really frustrating, and it's a piss off. Apple is literally just out for money, and it has nothing to do with saving the environment. So my S9 was 64 gigabytes and my iPhone is 128 gigabytes. So I did upgrade quite a bit. I did have an SD card in here, so that gave me a lot more storage, but going just off of the phone, I have 128 gigabytes now, which is amazing. I'm not gonna fill it as quickly as I did this. I always had max storage use because I had so many photos on my phone and I like just hoard photos for some reason. So I did upgrade in that department as well. I also really, really like the fact that the Apple device has a face scanner instead of it being a fingerprint. So the fingerprint on this one is literally right on the camera, and I found that was really annoying because it constantly smudged my camera. So to unlock my phone, I constantly had to swipe and then use my fingerprint and it would open it. So this one I can just swipe up and it says Face ID, and then I can just scan my face and I get in really quickly and I don't have to touch my camera. I found on this one, touching the camera was a big flaw for me because it constantly scratched my camera. It got oils all over my camera, and it's just wasn't a very good spot for a fingerprint scanner. It should have been on the front. Another thing that I had to get used to was just how different Apple and Samsung are. So to pull up all of your tabs that are open, you literally have to swipe up and they're all like kind of like that, and you can scroll through them and close them. Whereas on a Samsung device, if I can even remember how to do it, it's a little button right here you press and it brings up everything. And I wish we had a close all option, which you do have on an Android. On the iPhone, you have to constantly like swipe them up and try to get as many as you can with your fingers and close them all. I was Googling how to close all my apps at once, and because I didn't want to sit here and do this because I always have 3,000 apps open, but that's the only way. You have to constantly swipe. I find that's a little bit annoying. So being a Android user switching to an Apple device, that's a flaw for me. I really like just the close all feature. It's a very small feature, but I really liked that. Another thing that I wish that my iPhone has, which my Samsung had, I wish it had a widget for my alarm clock. So I used to have an alarm clock. It was just like at the top here every single day. I would know that it's set, I would know that it's there, and my OCD would freak out, and I could make sure that my alarm was set every single night. Now I have to actually go into the alarm system and make sure it's set manually rather than just like opening, unlocking my phone and seeing that it's there. I haven't been able to find a widget on the Apple device for an alarm yet. For some reason, that's just not a thing. So that's a bummer. That was one of my biggest annoyances on Sunday, last Sunday when I got this phone. I was like, that's kind of stupid. Why isn't there an alarm like widget that I can just have on my lock screen? Like, that's so user-friendly and amazing, and Android has that and Apple does not. So that's another thing that I found was a little bit annoying. I really like the fact that it has Siri. Hey Siri, play Spotify.
This is 10 years now playing on Spotify.
Not letting them play it, but I really like that. My boyfriend says that there's like a Google option on the Android that you can use and it works the same, and I never used it. I didn't even know it was a thing. So like I said, I'm not the type of person that actually utilized having an Android. So me having an Android was so fucking pointless because I find that Apple's a little bit more user friendly. So I really like the fact that there's Siri. When I'm in my car, I can literally just say, hey Siri, change the song, and it flips to the next song, and I don't have to pick my phone up or anything. Like I said, I have an older vehicle. I do not have any musical like devices on my steering wheel. I don't have Bluetooth, I have nothing. So I would drive a 2010 Corolla. So I really like that so far. The Apple device itself is really, really pretty. I got a clear case because I really liked the blue. The blue is really, really gorgeous, and I'm so terrified to break this phone. But this is what it looks like. It is so beautiful. It's so reflective, and it's this gorgeous blue color. And here is the front. I don't have it, I have it unlocked. I don't have it broken yet, so that's amazing. I just got a $12 case off of Amazon that has like a higher ridge so that if I do drop it, I'm not going to break the screen. I also had a glass screen protector on it already, but it was for the S12, so it didn't fit my screen completely, and it kind of annoyed me, so I peeled that off last night. And I'm gonna put on one that's actually for this phone. There's also a screen protector that you can get on the camera. So the camera is 3 little circles, and then the flash and whatever that one is. So there's 3 on the back, and I kind of want to get a screen protector for that as well because I'm very, very scared to scratch my camera, because that was the main reason that I got this phone. I literally want it for the camera purposes. The camera on it is so amazing. You can film in 4K on this camera and 1080p. You can also film in either 30p or 60p, and I think that's really amazing. My boyfriend again says that you can film in 4K on this phone. I didn't know that was a thing. Never utilized it. My camera on this phone is really bad. It was really fuzzy, it was really grainy, it just didn't look good. The camera when you're actually like using it outside of apps is okay, but it's nothing compared to the camera that's in this phone. This phone's camera is so amazing. I'm not even gonna try to explain like the specs of anything because I'm not technologically like inclined at all. I don't know what any of it means. All I know is the camera on this is fucking amazing, and I'm very excited. So this is what the box looks like. I literally got it a week ago. There has been a thing going around on TikTok that people are saying that if you pull out all of the stuff in it, you pull out the cardboard and you like cut it all around it, there's a case inside. Like there's a rumor that there's a case inside. I don't think there is though, so I'm gonna pull it apart and see. Nope, there's no case on the inside. So all of those people that are doing those TikToks are full of fucking shit because there's no case inside this. I was really hoping there would be. That would have been really cool. But this is just my really quick, really rambly kind of just video on my new phone. I'm really excited that I got this phone. I'm not really one that cares which kind of phone I have, whether I have an iPhone or an Android. They're both great phones. I love the fact that it's really, really heavy. It's a big ass phone. So if I'm gonna compare the two, I thought my S9 was a big phone when I got my S9 originally, and it is so much smaller. So here's the comparison. My S9 is right there. It's on, you can obviously tell. So the screens are smaller, it's a little bit smaller of a phone, and it is way lighter. So this feels heavy. It's a very, very heavy device, whereas this is very, very light. Like it almost feels like I'm holding nothing. It's a very, very light phone. So if you like more of a light phone and not really like having a big heavy brick, you might like an Android a little bit better, or at least the S9. Whereas this is very heavy, and like, honestly, I'm scared to drop this phone because it's glass and I'm just terrified. There is a pretty big difference in size between the two phones. It was kind of a lot to get used to at first because I'm just so used to having such a small device. I got a pop socket and I just put it on, and now I'm never gonna drop my phone, hopefully. But this is just my device, my phone. I'm very, very happy that I got it. My everyday life has not changed. It was a little bit to get used to, just playing around with the different settings and pulling up different apps, and how to use the face recognition was a little bit different, and just like learning that the apps are like a swipe this way rather than a button. And then there's like no back button, which I found was a little bit hard to get used to at first. And honestly, everything else is pretty much the fucking same. So I would say they're pretty similar in your everyday use. I wouldn't really say one is better than the other. They're fine. You get used to using both of them really, really quickly. So I haven't had too much trouble switching from an Android to an Apple. It's a very user-friendly phone, so I wasn't that worried. Everything is pretty easy to use. I really like how I have it laid out right now. It's very, very, very easy to find things, whereas for some reason on this one, it was just so chaotic and I always had to scroll through like 3,000 apps, and now I have them all organized and it's lovely, and you can see my puppy. I'm really, really happy that I switched to an Apple. The battery life alone is what makes this phone so much better in my opinion, and the camera. The camera is amazing. So I'll post some videos on the screen of just like my Android versus my iPhone, just so you guys can see the comparison in the photos, and there's a big difference in my opinion. And honestly, it has just made my experience on TikTok a little bit better, even though I still can't upload in HD, but that's not really a phone issue, that's a TikTok issue. But I would say it's made my experience on apps such as Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that a lot more fun and better, just because now my video quality isn't horrible. But thank you so much for watching this video. I know this is a very random video. It is a very not technologically inclined video. I just wanted to walk through the differences that I've experienced as an Android user switching to an iPhone, and just give you guys my opinion. I love this phone. This phone is really amazing. I'm really happy that I switched to it. It is gorgeous, and it is very user-friendly, and it is so fast. This phone was so slow and just like old, and just, it was 3 years old. So I mean, whatever, it was fast when I got it. But this one is so quick and I love it. So I'm very happy. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.